Okay, so my hacker friends that are watching should appreciate this. We're going to talk about the right to repair. You have a right to repair shit. Like, I would not buy a product that doesn't sell fucking replacement parts. I've never had to order replacement parts for a Naruto, so it's never really been an issue. This is the thing that's broken. You can hear that or not, it rattles. It shouldn't rattle like that. My guess is it doesn't work at all. It probably does still work because it's a mercury switch, and mercury switches sound like that. And I don't know how theirs doesn't sound like that, but it doesn't normally. They've found some sort of way to make it quiet. Mercury switches have a little ball that moves back and forth in them. And what it does is, in one configuration, it's completing an electric circuit, and in another, it's not. So it's like, I'm guessing on their shit here, this is probably a magnet in here that's bouncing back and forth, that they're using the mercury switch type mechanism with a magnet in it to do that. Like, maybe all mercury switches are magnetic. I don't know that much about mercury switches. It's not really my area of expertise. I've used them before. Don't need to know more about them than that. For my purposes, what does this do? This, when you take the night vision from being on and in front of your face to up like this, it turns it off automatically. So, in reality, I don't really want that anyway. So as I've been thinking about it, I'm glad I saved the money, but I don't want it to rattle, so I'm going to take this off. We'll see. I'll hang on to that in my spare parts bin in case we do need it for some reason. I can't seem to buy a replacement, so there's that. I don't know. It's fitting. Like, I'm making a thing out of garbage. Like, it doesn't matter if it has this on it or not. In fact, for my uses, when I flip them up and away, I'd rather they stay on, because when I flip them back down, I want them to still be on. I'll turn them off when I'm done. And in addition to that, if I flip my nods out of the way, it doesn't matter if whoever is in front of me sees green dots or not. Flipping the nods off means we've lost everything. We're going to white light, because we're having white light used against us in such a volume that our nods are useless. Like that's why you would flip it up. So this is like a nice to have. But if you notice, it's held on by like the tiniest screws in the world. Sorry. And it's kind of fucking plasticky and flimsy. And it's sealed off with epoxy. Like, what I think is funny is they said that their stuff is patented when I was on the phone with Naruto's. Yes, honey, everything's patented. We were talking about guns and knives and whatever versus night vision equipment. And she said, well, you don't understand our business. Everything is patented. Everything is patented in every business except mine. I really don't give a flying fuck. Copy me if you'd like to. Like, you will make an enemy. That's probably not wise. You know, what do I do that's really a patent also? If anything, I infringe on other people's shit. You know, half of what I make is like pirate art. This thing, I got a cease and desist letter from Disney about. Those, I'm going to make myself one, and I'm going to make a few for friends, and that's all I'm ever going to make of those, and that's why they're going to be worth money. Those things, I managed to sell like 75 to 100 of, I don't remember, before Disney stopped me. Like, I sold quite a few of those. I don't know. Fuck people and their fucking patents and intellectual property. All these people, they think they can own a thing just because they thought it or whatever. Like, to some extent that is true, but to some extent it is not true. Like, we live in a society of weasels. This is why I'm done with it and I'm walking away. Like, Neurotos is everything wrong with America. Our court system is a joke. Go watch the movie True Grit, especially the 1969, I believe, original with John Wayne. Go watch the court scene in that. Know that that is exactly how court is. That movie portrays it accurately. Okay? Like, the selective enforcement that you see now was the shit that they're talking about in that movie. That's like, oh, the rat catcher's too hard on the rats, all that shit on the stand. What they're saying there is basically that these people that they are punishing are of a political nature that is aligned with these people that have money, that are giving them lawyers that are fighting for them in court. Otherwise, they'd just be fucking dead because they're rats. Okay? Or they're giving them public defenders or whatever because you have to do good and whatever. Like, all of this is kind of fucked up. Like, I think the American way of life, to some extent, is fucked up because it's not the American way of life. The American way of life stopped being the American way of life somewhere in, I don't know, in or around 1900 for sure. I'm gonna go cut my own fucking life out of the wilderness like a real fucking American. That's how I see things. I think part of that is I'm going to go wander for a bit and just make videos and, you know, make cool things like that. That I would never have made that had I not been doing all the rest of this shit. When I start getting older, I think I'm going to try to buy land and build the cabin and shit. Like, I'm just going to save up now. I don't see any reason to put down roots yet. Especially if I can find somewhere to stash my shit. Anyway, this is wandering into other topics. This thing is dope. Neurotos makes a quality product. It's just bullshit that, like, this thing they don't sell. Like, everything else on here, and, like, it maybe, like, don't even have them on your website. But, like, if someone calls and needs one, say $20. Like, I don't know what this costs, but this is not a dollar's worth of shit. What does it hurt you to help the little guy? Like, Neurotos they're in the business of selling to the U.S. government. I got that. Like, I think it's fucking ridiculous to not sell a part. I guess their thing is, well, you should have bought the $800 civilian one. I think you should service all of the products that you fucking make. Okay? If you are reaping the benefits of fucking, you know, selling them all to the U.S. military, I think you ought to fucking have to fucking sell parts for them and shit too. Like, they're charging what they're charging for these things because the U.S. military buys them. To be honest, what this makes me want to do is make a civilian version of this that's better than this, that will make all of their shit worthless. Because really, the only people who buy this shit are the people that can't afford Wilcox. That leaves a lot of fucking room to compete, doesn't it? Because can't afford Wilcox is probably $200 or less. That's what you'd be looking to compete with. That's a lot of money. So let's say you targeted the $100, $150 market, which is where this thing sits in the surplus realm. I'm not even talking about what Neurotos charges for it. I wouldn't compete with what Neurotos charges to civilians. I would make one product at one price, and I would sell it. And if the military wants some, they can come and buy them just like anybody fucking else. This is how the gun industry should start being. It's one of those, like, they might be the tip of the spear, But some of us literally make the spear. Like, start using that power to your advantage. These fucks really pissed me off. At least it's nothing major. Like, the thing that really, like, calmed me about this is that I don't need this. And in reality, it doesn't matter if it's on there or not. So the noise is like, the dude that sold this said that it had a minor rattle from someplace, but it didn't affect function.